horror story after horror story about orphanages and your kids having hoarding disorders or attachment disorders and never being able to, bond with you. And we heard what Ukraine.
Well, just that the terrible situations in the orphanages and how that would damage, a child at that such an early and tender age when they're getting everything they need to be a whole person. And we were scared that there would be issues with a child not brought up in a nurturing home, but in a row of cribs or in a row and forgotten or left alone. And it was quite concerning to us. And that's why we wanted to get as young a child as possible.
Of course.
So that we could impart as much of that time with us as possible.
And it just so happened that you were adopted from an orphanage in India that had Hands to Hearts International support, and so therefore all the caregivers there were trained in our curriculum. And what were your findings there, the orphanage?
Well, that orphanage essentially blew away all of the preconceptions we had about orphanages. Of the concerns when we went there, it was almost immediately, I think, evident that
they were
something
on ground
was
level.
different.
The caretakers were on the ground level with the children, interacting, touching, listening to the children, rubbing their backs, talking to them one-on-one, meeting their needs just in an everyday situation, everyday activities. And then at nighttime they would be singing, they would rub their backs. The wonderful sound as we walked to the orphanage one evening, as we approached the orphanage, the sound out of this jungle, the darkness of this woman singing out of the orphanage came this beautiful lullaby in the darkness. And we got to go inside. We went upstairs and they were all laid down. She was singing and rubbing their backs, and we just thought that was huge. And the other thing,
Being tucked in at night.
the kids,
like we would.
were obviously getting paid wonderful attention to. But the other thing I noticed is the caretakers themselves just had such pride in what they were doing. They truly, it just radiated off them. You could just truly feel the pride they have, and they loved these kids and were putting in that love and nurturing. And I just felt that they were happy doing what they were doing. And truly at the goodbye ceremony,
They were very sad.
heart-wrenching.
It was heart-wrenching for them because they truly bonded with the kids.
With the kids.
You could tell, more than just changing diapers and feeding meals and that. They were family.
That's
there.
just nothing. Out of all the blogs and the internets and all the adoption we've read about, it's just not the experience that we've heard about and not the experience we expected to see.